Welcome to Tech Updates. This is issue number 10. So this newsletter is where we talk about tools and AI and all kinds of stuff that's happening right now in the digital frontier. And I'm sharing my process of building and exploring, and so we can learn and navigate it all together. You can watch this video or you can go read it on Substack and check it all out. All right, so what have I been researching and learning about? So Apple M5s were just announced just a few days ago, and their new CPU and GPUs are like AI ready. So here's a quote from this big long tweet. Go read it. It's pretty interesting. But it says the unified memory, 614 gigabits a second, bandwidth, 40 core GPUs. This bandwidth number matters because local LLM inference is memory and bandwidth bound. It says you'll be able to run 70 billion parameter models at usable token speeds on a laptop. So that's the future. This is what's coming. The Qwen models that were announced a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, you're being able to run better and bigger models on your local machines with updated CPU, GPU chips, and or regular graphics cards. So I'm already running a 15 billion Qwen model with my 3060, and that's a 4-year-old video card. So if I had some spare, a couple thousand, I might upgrade, but we'll see how that goes. So lots of cool things coming with that. Related to that, this is an interesting project on GitHub about reverse engineering APIs for the Apple Neural Engine, and it's pretty neat. It says it's remarkably capable piece of silicon that Apple restricts, and this project bypasses that restriction by reverse engineering the APIs, and just kind of, it's pretty popular on GitHub, and go read it. It's pretty interesting, pretty complicated, but also cool. This was an interesting article about letting go of code review. So this was talking about how as companies use AI to write more and more code, or developers and teams are AI code first, and we're generating lots of code, there's still the security risk. There's still code review that needs to be done manually. Our AppSec tools are needing to catch up. And this is talking about the idea of when we're going to hand that off to AI as well. Does the humans become the bottleneck at how fast we can review the code? And when will the AIs be good enough at this job to review the code and find its own bugs? So Claude Security just came out a couple of days ago, and it can find bugs. And I think it's interesting because sometimes Claude writes code that has bugs and vulnerabilities in it. And so I think as these things iterate, you'll start to see AI code get better because it will self-audit as it writes code, and you'll be able to write and use specific tools to help audit your code with AI and just publish everything at a faster rate. All right, next up this is just a GitHub collection of 315 free APIs. There's lots of some pretty common stuff in there, but a nice little list that you can just throw in your AI memory and say, hey, if we're building a project, check that list of APIs and see if there's something that we can easily tie into without having to go pay for something. If you need a dashboard or a plugin or a tool or a hook into some platform that's out there. This is a shameless plug that I reposted for Claude. I like Claude a lot. And if you're going to start using Claude or you want to migrate over to Claude, they have this tool now that'll let you import all of your chat history from Gemini or ChatGPT. And so you can just import it right away, and then you don't have to start retraining a new AI on things you've talked about or information you've given it about yourself. And these AI memories are getting better and better. And so eventually they will just know everything about you and be able to do things on your behalf. But if you want to switch to Claude, that's a cool tool that they built. These are two cool tools that I've come across in the last week or two, sitdeck.com and worldmonitor.app. They are open source dashboards for world events, and they bring in all kinds of news and military and radar and pictures and just everything from tech to oil to finance to any type of information about things that are going on in the world, and especially with the war in Iran going on. It's just kind of they're really neat dashboards, and you can drill in and zoom in and just kind of play around and just kind of soak up open source information and what's going on. And sometimes that's kind of neat to go look at this open source dashboard versus what you may be seeing in your news feeds or on the TV. All right, next up is The Great Transition. This is a video Daniel Miessler put out, and it's about an hour and a half long, but it's a really good thought explanation, just kind of not a monologue, but just talking about all these different ideas of how AI is going to change the way people interact, the way companies do business, the way we do creativity, just all kinds of neat stuff. And it's pretty well thought out, and I thought it was really interesting, and it's good things to think about. So go watch it. It's a really good video. All right, future research to do. What's on my list of things to do and learn? Anthropic launched free courses to learn AI and Claude. There's probably 10 of them. I started the first one. I just want to do them for fun, just to see if there's anything I pick up, some nugget of something I don't already know about Claude, and I'm sure there is, or some little hidden setting that I wasn't using yet. So that's out there. It's called Anthropic Academy. It's on Skilljar. Go check it out. I'm almost ready to attempt to migrate some of my WordPress websites over to Hugo and Cloudflare. I've already got some cool graphics made up for that, about migrating away from LAMP stack and databases to Git-based websites with CDNs. And so that's just kind of a new concept for me, and I'm excited to kind of try it out. Next up, I was talking about more models drop every day. This tweet is probably a month or so old. I think it was from February, and it just lists all the models that have come out in the first 2 months of the year. And then I think it was yesterday or today, ChatGPT 5.4 dropped. And so there's just constantly new models coming out, and they're always having new skills added, and it's pretty neat. All right, commands to remember. Oh, I forgot to put a screenshot in here. This AI video is just pretty funny. It was just a collection of every time something happens in the world, it's Marco Rubio having to take on a new job, and whether that's run Venezuela or run Iran or take over Ukraine, just everything that happens geopolitically is now Marco Rubio's job to do. And it's a pretty funny, like 30-second long AI video. So go check that out. All right, improvements. What have I been doing? I've been building a lot of pages, a lot of services, walkthroughs, a lot of internal documentation for consulting services, and also some digital products that I'm working on. I'm not quite ready to share them yet, but I keep toying with the idea of launching a consulting company, and I'm building out everything I would need to support that and understand it, and the workflows and the billing papers and the client engagement forms and all of that, and just trying to get it super organized so if I do decide to do that, I've got everything ready to go. I'm also building digital products for fun, both free and paid products, that as I continue to share and build things online, that if I can provide things of value for free and or small fees, then I'm going to kind of do that as well. Along with that, I've made 2 different lead magnets for different projects, and I've been using AI to help build and organize a lot of those things. I'm also working on getting all my papers caught up for taxes so I can get those turned into the tax people and be done with it. I'm almost always late to get that done, like the very last 2 days of April, like April 10th is when I usually start looking at it. So I'm trying to do it a little bit earlier this year since it's March. I upgraded my Pi instance to 4.0 and then 4.0.3. And so that's got some new features. There's always new stuff in that, and it's really cool. I switched all of my shells on all of my boxes from Bash to ZSH. I know maybe I should have done it a long time ago. I've just always been a Bash person. And so I finally did some deep diving on ZSH and all the features and doing some custom stuff inside of my ZSHRC files. So I have all the features I have from Bash and a bunch of added new cool stuff as well. That is what's going on in this issue of Tech Updates. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, reply, hit me up, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.